Welcome to the Matchfit Conditioning Podcast. Transforming over 100,000 footballers worldwide. Everything we do is aimed at enabling you to gain an edge completely by yourself without needing help from a training partner or teammates. Open yourself to doing things smarter and with more intention, focus and attention to detail than your teammates, opponents and even your coaches. Are you ready to get match fit?
Hi guys, today's question is, do footballers need to take branch chain amino acids known as BCAAs? So the answer to this one, in my opinion, and in the opinion of most sport nutritionists, is going to be definitely no. So BCAAs were a really popular supplement back in the day, especially when they first came out, and they were advertised to do two main things. So the first thing was they were meant to signal the body to grow new muscle tissue. And then the second thing was that they were meant to be a substrate for the building of new muscle proteins. And they were thought to do this because BCAAs make up 3 of the 9 essential amino acids that are known to be essential to grow new muscle tissue. So BCAAs, they consist of leucine, isoleucine, and also valine. And leucine in particular has a ton of research behind it to show how it can signal for anabolic processes to start. And out of all the 20 amino acids, and the 9 essential amino acids, leucine is probably the one that's most associated with muscle growth. So the original train of thought was that if you consumed a lot of leucine and a lot of these BCAAs, then this will signal for more muscle protein to be synthesized and then for muscle growth to occur. So on paper, and at one point of time, BCAAs were actually looked upon as a sort of alternative source to protein to stimulate new muscle proteins and muscle tissue. And because they contain such a high concentration of leucine, some people even thought they might even be superior to protein within whole foods or even other protein supplements as well. However, what was once thought to be the benefit of BCAAs, that they only contain these 3 essential amino acids, has actually turned out to be the problem with them. Because in order to synthesize new muscle proteins and muscle tissue, you need to have all 9 essential amino acids present. So as BCAAs only contain 3 of the 9 essential amino acids, is simply unable to sustain an increase in muscle protein synthesis, and therefore is unable to do the job that it is first intended to do. Now, when this research first came out, we as sports nutritionists just thought, okay, BCAA supplements are not necessarily harmful, but also they're not necessarily having any additional benefit. But it's actually a bigger issue than we first thought, because as mentioned, leucine does in fact signal for anabolic processes to occur. But because anabolic processes can only occur with all 9 essential amino acids present, and BCAAs only contain 3 of these 9, then the body's forced to look elsewhere for the remaining 6 essential amino acids. And unless you're consuming another protein source along with your BCAAs that can be sourced for these essential amino acids, these remaining 6, then your body can actually source the remaining 6 from your muscle stores within your muscle tissue, which is obviously counterintuitive to what you want to do, because this will increase muscle protein breakdown. So yes, it's actually true that what the science is telling us now is that your body will break down your current muscle tissue and release these 6 essential amino acids in order to join with BCAAs and therefore synthesize new muscle proteins. And this does actually have quite an overall damaging effect, because within this process you actually get about 30% more muscle protein breakdown than you do with muscle protein synthesis that is used from the amino acids that are being broken down. So unless you're consuming other sources of dietary protein along with BCAAs, you're actually going to result in more muscle loss in compared to muscle gain. Now, this being said, there are 2 potential uses where BCAAs could have some type of positive effect. So the first is going to be, like I said, if BCAAs are taken alongside other more complete protein sources, whether this is from food or another protein supplement. And what the BCAAs can do in this instance is actually enhance the effect that these proteins are having, provided you're not consuming enough of the protein from these other sources to already stimulate maximal amounts of muscle protein synthesis. So as we know, men require around about 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal to stimulate maximally anabolic processes, females around about 20 to 30 grams. However, if you notice in the meal you're only consuming around about 10 grams, then adding BCAA supplement on top of that might make the effect from these proteins more enhanced, and it might have a greater ability to synthesize new muscle proteins. However, to be honest, this effect can also be achieved obviously by just increasing the amount of protein within the protein source already contained within the meal, whether this is from a food or a supplement, and you don't need to rely on BCAAs to have this effect. And then the second potentially positive use for BCAAs within athletes is that you can take it during some type of low intensity training session that you're doing fasted, just to be used as a fuel source within your training. Because we do know that restricting carbohydrates in low intensity training sessions might have some benefits for enhancing the adaptations to training. So some sessions might be done fasted. However, BCAAs are used within some elite athletes. I know they're especially used within our Tour de France cycling team, and they like to do this within their training sessions. However, to be honest, there's no unique benefit to BCAAs in this scenario, and I would actually say that a complete essential amino acid product, or even just your standard typical protein powder, can be used in this exact same scenario and have at least the exact same benefit, and probably more of a benefit, because it does contain all of those essential amino acids. So that's really it for this video, guys. If you have found it helpful, then please share it with your teammates, anyone you think might help, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning into the Matchfit Conditioning Podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with one of your teammates. To learn more about the Matchfit method and to start your training with us, visit www.matchfitconditioning.com. We'll show you how to gain an edge on the pitch at an elite level by transforming your fitness level, nutrition, and mindset.